be free-floating now to move back into a secure locked position. Well, not locked, but secure position. Takes a little bit of force to open it. Then as you see, it's out of the way still as the blade's moving, and I'm at a point where it's just about locked up. It's starting to find its place, and there we go. Blade's locked. And I say it for another time, it's locked. It's in a great position, and maybe it's just mine, maybe it's not yours, but that's okay if it's not totally locked up, or if it's not secure, if it's hard to move, because it's got an adjustable pivot screw, which is an awesome feature for a knife like this. All of these screws can come out, and you can easily take this knife apart and put it back together in 5 minutes if you know what you're doing. So, even if you don't know what you're doing, I'm sure you could figure this out. It's simple. You have these spacers, these screws, you unscrew the screws, and you unscrew the spacers, and everything kind of comes apart. And they all go back together. And there's never any hassle, except if you do that, you void your warranty. So don't do it unless you have to. If you have to tighten the pivot screw, then that's fine. I'm sure that doesn't void the warranty. Don't quote me on it, but that would be ridiculous if it did. Spyderco takes care of its people. I've sent knives to them, and they've sent them back with new edges, new parts, whatever, you name it, they do it for you. I had to pay shipping, but hey, it's worth it if you're getting a quality knife back and you're seeing that a company actually cares for you. So anyways, guys, let's move on. What am I going to talk about? Let's talk the G10 now, because there's different kinds of G10 everywhere on the market. Oh, okay, before we move on, depress it, and then you drop it, and then usually it comes down, but I don't want to like do this, because when it hits and bounces back, that's, I don't know, it could be dangerous. So I'm trying to get it ideally like that. There we go. Anyways, that's fun to play with. But back to the G10. There are different kinds of G10 on the market, and Spyderco uses all of them. Some of their cheap knives use a very low quality G10 scale. And when you have a low quality G10 scale, you don't get any grip, or you get way too much grip, pocket tearing, grippy type G10, which is bad. When you find a higher quality G10 material, it's very much in between or outstanding, which this I would say is. For the knife, for the money you pay for it, which I guess I'll get into in a little while here, you're getting good quality materials. This G10 is just edgy enough that it grips you tight when you need to be moving, grips you tight when it's wet, grips you tight when your hands are dry, your hands are sweaty, anything in between. Your hands are grippy, and it doesn't destroy your pocket in the process. It's not grippy enough to do any serious damage or hurt your hands if you're delicate or anything like that. But what it does do is its purpose. You don't slip up on the blade when you're holding it like this, because that's the only way you could hold on to it at that one dire moment. You do not move anywhere. You stay securely fastened to your knife in hand, which is a wonderful thing. You always want that. Back to the native, which I haven't referenced in a little bit in this video yet. You have another cool handle design. Not quite as cool as that volcano grip from a lot of other Spyderco knives that I'll show you and I'm sure you've seen or you've held, but it does have a nice texturing. I'm trying to get that in focus, but my camera's focusing on the paramilitary too. There we go. Spyderco native. You see this design? There are many little squares, rectangles rather, that are all slightly slanted towards that way, the center of the knife on both sides. So when you grab the knife, forwards your thumb moves a little bit, or wherever your hand is moves a little bit. It's not super grippy, but it's grippy enough that you hold onto the knife, and then the ergonomics of it do the rest. I mean, it's a good design. Spyderco did it right. A lot of companies do it wrong, but I say it again, Spyderco did it right. The volcano grip again, you know it, you love it. It's in a lot of Spyderco knives because it works. It basically grips your hand into place, which is nice. This, fantastic stuff. Very lightweight too, so that saves on weight, and it looks damn cool. Look at it. everyone's going to be different because the digital camo or any other type of design you get is going to be completely unique, cut from a sheet but from different sections of it. So mine's different than yours, and yours is different from somebody else's. And I like the digital camo personally. You can get it in a black blade, which is really cool, but I don't know, I've never been that much of a fan. I like the satin or the silver stainless, very shiny stainless. And this, which is cool. But yeah, good stuff. G10, it wins. Let's see, what's next here? I talked about it in hand. The knife holds awesome. Again, forward grip, choked up, reverse if you need be. If you need to kind of grip it like your pinpoint, that's nice too even. I mean, the knife is designed really well. Ergonomics, big 10 out of 10 for that. Good job, Spyderco. Looks simple enough, and it works awesomely. Clip design, nothing special. It's the new Spyderco clip. A lot of knives have this, different screw configurations and stuff. Holds tight, holds well, doesn't catch on much, and it looks pretty. Gotta say it. It does stand out a little bit much for me. I would get a blacked out one if I could, which I might anyways, just because, you know, in Canada here, lots of people frown on knives. They don't get it. A lot of people think they're just scary weapons, but really they're useful tools. And excuse me here. When you have a blackened out as opposed to a shiny one, it attracts a lot less attention. And when you've got this knife in pocket, it carries almost about, maybe a little bit less than an inch out of your pocket, so, I don't know, it shows a little bit, and then the clip itself is very shiny. What's next here? Talked about the steel. I've only had this one for a week and a half. Actually just a week and a day. I've only had this knife for a week and a day. But hey, I've used it every day, and I've used it strong, and I've used the steel before. Back to the native. I've used this native, as you can see by the damage to the blade, even though I've polished it up and cleaned it up and given it an edge, I don't know, countless number of times. I've used this knife for over a year now. Hard. Very hard. I've destroyed this knife, and I love it to death. And it will still be occasionally my choice for an everyday carry knife. I'll do a review on that one at some point too, because I've got lots of experience. Maybe when I get a nice shiny new one, I'll do a review on it, just because it'll look nice, shiny, and new. The value, I would say, is kind of an in-between. The Spyderco Native is a cheaper knife and a great knife, and its value is way up there because you can get it for $60 if you go to the right place, and it'll last you years of abuse because of the steel, because of the quality of design, because of the ergonomics. You'll love it. Because of the look, you'll love it. I don't know. For this, you love the look, you love the knife, you love the steel, you love the shape, you love all the great things about it. But when it comes to price, I gotta say it's tough to find this thing under $125-ish. I got mine for about $125, and that was the cheapest I could find on the internet. Not used, that is. I don't trust used knives. That's kind of weird. Who knows what they could have been used for? That's a side note. But anyways, great. Great price point. It's in between a $200 Benchmade knife. It's more expensive than a $30 bird knife or a $50 buck knife, or I don't know, wherever you want to go with this. It's in between because you get a lot of blade. Well, maybe not a lot of blade. If you got the Mlitary, you'd get a lot of blade. Or if you got the Resilience, which is another Spyderco knife I plan on reviewing, then you got a lot of blade for your money. With this, you get about as much blade as you can pay for with your money. I mean, it's good. It's almost 4 inches of blade, which is all you can really ask for in an EDC especially. That's all you really need.